morning and welcome to another fun-filled week in Kansas. It's humid here. We've been in Kansas for several weeks now working on a bus. Our friend Bailey contacted us because she got her hands on a bus that someone else converted and she wanted me to finish up the project for her because it wasn't quite done yet. We were able to get here rather rapidly. We showed up and we found a bus that, yes, there was a strong attempt of converting it, but really there was just a lot of dangerous practices and wrong practices involved. So over the past several weeks, we've been trying to save this bus and keep it as low budget as possible. We've managed to fit in a lot of recycled, upcycled wood. We haven't bought a whole lot for it. There was some major structural issues. The roof was sagging, so we created this rib cage here, and it's supported by walls on each end to help replicate the old support system in one of these buses. And I'm progressively moving towards making this a tiny home on wheels. You'll hang on, this week is gonna be fun. I promise. Now, if you guys been building with us for a while, then you know I really hate this product. And I've left it outside so you guys can see what happens when water hits it. It's been sitting out here for a couple weeks and we've gotten a lot of rain. So it's bowed up and swelling. But it is just glued together sawdust. And that was the bed platform inside of this bus when I got here. Now, what I've been working on today is, pardon the mess, y'all. I work in chaos, if you don't know that. Is I am trying to build a bed platform that does a lot of things at one time. So the original one was just a big piece of plywood, and a mattress was supposed to go on top of it. But we're going to be putting in a water tank over here. We already have one underneath this couch, but we're adding a second one here. And we're going to be using the factory tie-down rails on each side of the bus, and we're going to be putting the battery bank over here on this side. Slow, but I go, you know? It's been a muggy one here in Kansas today. I'm still going, but I kind of want to show you guys where I cleaned it up. That's the process of just a day. As you saw, it was clean just a few hours ago. I've been working back here all day, getting things fit for the water tank. I'm putting some supports there on the floor to help lift the tank up to allow ventilation underneath it so it doesn't sweat. And I've also put bracing in this back wall because we're going to be mounting that air conditioner there on the exterior, so I needed something to run the hardware through on the inside of the bus. Lots of wood cutting. And now, before the sun goes down, I'm going to start filling in cracks and screw holes in this work I did here today as well. Moving towards the end, y'all. Moving slowly, but moving. Good morning, y'all. If you notice, my shirt's a little drier. The humidity level, quite nice today. Beautiful day out there. I'm back inside the bedroom working on this bed frame. I got everything ready for the water tank on this side yesterday, and now I'm preparing to house these batteries. That is a bus heater. For those of you that don't know, those heaters run off of the coolant, off of the radiator, off of the motor block. So it pipes it all the way back here to the bus. So in order to delete this, we're going to have to crawl under the bus and circulate the water back to itself instead of through this heater. So I can't just yank it out of there. And you can't just turn a switch and turn it on either. So it's just in the way. But until I can get that part, to get that removed, I'm going to keep building this box to house these batteries. Well, I've made about as much progress back there on that bed as I want to. I have to leave room for me to function in there because I still have a lot of plumbing, a water tank to put in, as well as all of the electrical, so I need to move around. Time to move on to something else. I'm going to be working on the shower. Now, let's talk about wood showers. Obviously, this shower is made out of pine. Pine is not ideal for this type of setup, but it's what was here and we didn't want to tear it out. Now, this person that was building it basically built this as a closet. And then they shoved some quarter round in the corners and ran some staples in it. And somehow thought that was going to be waterproof. Now what we're gonna do is something similar. I've removed that quarter round and I'm gonna be wood gluing it into these crevices, and then I'll fill any cracks that still remain once it's glued. That combined with a heaping helping of poly on this wood should provide a semi waterproof area. Eventually over time it's gonna crack, it'll have to be redone, but it's the best we can do with this type of setup. Let's make this thing as tight as we can. Alright y'all, we've come to the end of another wonderful day. I will say the bus looks totally different. Of course I have stuff stacked in here where I once was. I have a lot of supplies showing up tomorrow, so I hope to start being able to get the tanks installed and plumbed. We'll see how that goes. I found the kitchen sink. I sturdied all of this structure, so now it won't go anywhere. And that's where our mini split's going to be hanging. I still have to craft a cover for the Freon lines that are going to come down and drop through the cabinets. I spent a lot of time in here, and right now it's really ugly. Tomorrow I'll come in and sand it all down, and it'll be beautiful. Also did a bunch of work on the back of the door as well, with the same idea. Just trying to make everything look smooth and pretty. We'll get some more done tomorrow, y'all. Until then, I'm gonna go find my Kelsey. The inspector is back at it again. I just chased him out of the bus. He has no personal space. Yeah, you hear me talking about you. This morning I'm starting my day out working on all of this wood filler that I applied yesterday. So I've been sanding the door as well as this corner, bringing it to shape. Let's get some more done. I've got a bunch of boxes on the way today. Boy, it's starting to look good in here.
You're making a mess in here today.
Hey, Kels.
Hey, babe.
You like my arsenal of floor glue removal?
Yeah, that's kind of gross. It sucks to walk on barefoot.
It's gonna be smooth soon because we're gonna do something really cool on top of it, but I'm not telling you what it is.
I know, and I'm very, very excited.
So much prettier than it was.
Already. You about ready to call it a night?
I am. Is it time to clock out?
I believe so.
Thanks, boss lady. I appreciate that. Good morning, y'all. As you can see, I already got Amazon boxes rolling in. If you guys are wondering where I get all the bits and pieces to build all these buses, that's the answer. The big box local stores, they just really aren't set up for what we need to build all of this. So I just placed 2 very large orders yesterday, and over the next several days, stuff is going to be pouring in. We're going to get this thing shiny quick. Y'all hang on, today's going to be fun. It's Christmas. One of the things I've been weirdly excited about is this door and this latching system. So this is a bit of a different style. This doesn't have a handle that turns to release it. It catches over there. And this has a digital pad as well as just a lock. But when it's closed, it's hard to tell which side's the door because there's no hinge set. Awesome. There are 2 things I really like about working for Bailey. One of them is she keeps bringing me these apple cider donuts, and they are thebomb.com. And she's innovative. So this kitchen counter was built in from the previous builder, and we needed a place to put a refrigerator. So her idea was, let's cut out the bottom and just slide it under here. So I'm going to change up the doors a little bit. As you can see, they were designed to catch like this. We'll put a backstop in and make it work. Let's make it work, y'all. There's some more of that ugly floor glue I've been grinding all day. Look at it. It's still sticky. All right, y'all. Let's look at some electrical stuff really fast. Start off with, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a journeyman. I'm not any of those things. What I am is someone who cares. And I've learned to research on the internet and speak to people in person. And over many years of doing this, I figured out a lot of things that are for residential electrical just don't really work inside of buses. Now, when I got here, there was a journeyman here that was working on this who had never worked on an RV. And then there was also some residual wiring from the previous converter. There's things like backstabbed outlets, which I realize they're made for that, but I don't like that. There's outlets where the wire is just barely nestled behind the screws. Don't like that either. And a lot of the wire that was utilized is, use this in commercial and electrical. This is stranded wire. You can pick this up at any big box store or electrical supply hub, as well as your handy dandy Romex down here, but none of that really belongs in here. Here's why. Because when you try to bend this stuff, this type of stranded wire is very stiff because there's less strands in it. I'll be showing you later some of the wire that we like to use inside of conversions. But you get these crappy type of connections, which will pop loose eventually and cause, you know, sparky flames. Let's see what we can do with all of these parts, including all of the parts I ordered. And let's get something functional wired up under there. Ooh, those will work. Oh man, his suspension is lighter after that one. I wonder what's in here. Good morning, y'all. As you can see, I already got me some glitter in my beard. I am installing these super cool latches. I haven't quite used these before. I found them, and they use a push locking mechanism. So in order to do that, we have to cut a hole in my fancy new doors. And I'm going to show you guys this type of hole saw. This is called a Forester bit, and you can attach them to your router tables and do some really cool stuff. But you can use them to cut a half a circle like this, because you can press into them, so they don't have to be covering the whole wood like a normal hole saw. Good morning, y'all. Now you don't have to do anything else all day. You done learned something. Well, I continued working on these little cabinets here, and as you can see, I had to add a piece behind it because I just didn't like how that new type of lock sat without any bracing around the top. I'll know next time. I'm waiting on the glue to dry on several of these, and I'm sweating like a dog because I've been working back there. Y'all been staring at a rear heater for weeks with me, and I finally got that removed, and I've got beginnings of a battery box started here, which is just a piece of plywood connected to this framework I've been working on for several days, and our batteries in place. Let's see what else we can get stuck in there. You know what, y'all? It is really hard to record hundreds of houseflies all over the place, but they're here. Let me just tell you, they are everywhere. They're out there, they're in there. There's flies abundant in this place. I'm willing to bet it's all the cows that live right there. But I wanted to show you guys my boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes. I'm about finished for the day. I realize the sun is still very out, but I'm wearing the last of my clean clothing, and it's time to go to a laundromat. So we're gonna call that good for today, I think. Well, good morning, y'all. I'm in a good mood. I got clean clothes from head to toe. I left off yesterday with this cute little multi-layered box and my batteries. I am excited because my hardware came in. I was testing out one of them right there, and it utilizes these clamps, and they go in this rail, and then that's a threaded eyelet, which means we can start getting some stuff attached today. And I'm gonna start laying out the electrical system. We got some things to squeeze in this cabinet. Well, y'all, as you can see, I'm perspiring a lot. This area back here catches all the sun in the afternoon, so I've worked back here about as much as I could take today. Which means I'm moving on to the other end of the bus. I want to show you guys this little creation. So this was part of the bracket that held the heater back there where the batteries are sitting. And what I've done is I've drilled out here. I purchased this. This is a clamp that has a strap, and we're going to be using that to hold the propane tank. But I wanted to make sure that that propane tank couldn't go flying, because if you just screw it to this wood, obviously it's quite heavy and you don't want it to move. Oh. So I'll run those bolts through to this steel beam that runs underneath the shuttle bus. There's a web of these underneath the shuttle buses because, as you can see, the bottoms are all plywood. Let's get this thing tightened down. Well, I think I'm going to leave it a mess in here tonight. I contemplated cleaning it up, but honestly, I have more parts coming tomorrow. I didn't really get to complete anything today because I'm missing little bits and pieces here and there of almost everything. So I'm going to say goodnight to this bus and come at it in the morning. Let's go see what Kelsey's doing. I bet she's playing my banjo. I'm going to take it from her. Always gets in the way of me building a bus. I can really appreciate John's gift to me. Nah, I'm gonna try to finish the bus. You know, I try to finish that bus every day I work on it, Kelsey. Every day's a letdown, I'm sorry.
You're getting very, very close, though.
I am. And these flies in Kansas are outrageous. They grow flies better than they grow corn here.
Well, we are right by a cow pasture, Shane.
That probably has something to do with it. Yeah, let's go build a bus in a minute. Well, I did put that banjo down and I've got myself back to work. And I'm going to be finishing up a lot of little projects today. We'll see how far we get. These lights came in this morning and I want to see what they look like. So one of them's going to go here. Another one's going to go down there somewhere. I got some more lights over there. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff. The Amazon boxes are still flowing in, y'all. It's like Christmas. You know, unfortunately, putting stuff together means taking it all apart, too. As you can see, all this is built to come apart. This is how we're going to be attaching the water tanks. We've got some heavy-duty hardware that's going into these rails, and then each of these straps is rated for 600 pounds. And that tank doesn't weigh but a couple hundred when it's full. Let's put another one in here. Well, I want to share with you guys the last little project of the day and the week. So a common theme with this whole bus is making sure that it is maintainable by anybody, not just me. And I'm creating a lot of different systems that are removable or standalone. The battery and electronic system is going to work similar to this, but this is our plumbing system. And it does look rather complicated, but it's not. It's designed to be taken out, just like this. So it's going to be screwed in here. And I've crammed everything on one board because these two are not really this item. This item tends to burn up if you run them too hard. They can only run for 5 minutes, then you gotta let it rest for 10 minutes. But what we have here is this is gonna connect to our main tank, and then we have a cutoff to allow for any maintenance of this. That way the flow out of the tank is stopped. You have a mesh screen to prevent particulate into your water system. You have a removable fitting on each side of it. Then it comes down and goes through the accumulator, which helps prevent pulsing in your water system by using air pressure. And then we have check valves on either side of this. So this is going to be coming out into the bus. This is going to be coming from the city. So if you were at a campground and you plug the hose pipe in, it's going to come this way. So the pressure has a check valve on either side. So the water pressure can't come out of the pump and squirt out the port. And if you're pressurizing from the port, it can't back pressure through your pump and tear your pump up. Super important. And on that note, I'm going to tell y'all, I'll see y'all next week. Bye now.